Welcome to the Conference USA Showcase. I'm Stacey Erfley alongside Ron Thulin. Now, Ron, week 8 of the 2013 season is in the books. No real upsets this week. We'll start with Louisiana Tech and North Texas. Now, the Bulldogs, they jump out to a nice lead, but it's that mean green defense that's been stepping up.
I tell you what, let's go back to when we did the show in August. We were talking about teams to watch and who could be a surprise. We said on this show it could be North Texas. Dan McCarney is proving us right. Thank you, Dan. And it is their defense. Look what these guys have done. They put together back-to-back wins for the first time in 10 years. Their running game has improved, but their defense. They had a couple of interceptions from Zach Whitfield. One win for a 56-yard touchdown. And I tell you what, that's a big win for North Texas. Just 2 wins away now from becoming bowl eligible. That will be huge for the Mean Green.
To Ruston, Louisiana, the Bulldogs up 10-0 before Derek Thompson scrambles to his left, fires downfield to Breland Chancellor, makes a great grab, escapes and runs it in for the score, a 61-yard touchdown. 2 minutes later, Ryan Higgins, his pass is intercepted by Zach Whitfield at the 44-yard line and takes it to the house, all the way back for a pick six, giving the Mean Green a 14-10 lead. Now in the third, Derek Thompson, first and goal on the keeper, finds the end zone, and the Mean Green score 28 unanswered points. They go on to get the win 28-13. Well, Ron, switching our attention out to Greenville, North Carolina. ECU hosting Southern Miss, and this offense right now is just seeming unstoppable.
I'll tell you what, it's my man crush time. Okay, can I talk about that again?
Time.
You look at Shane Carden and Justin Hardy. What a combination these two have. Shane Carden, the #1 passer in Conference USA. They're the #1 offense. They need to keep winning because they're still 1 game behind Marshall in the East. But let's give some love to Justin Hardy. In that first half, he was 10 for 126 yards in receptions. He's #2 in the FBS in receptions. And that 10 for 126. First half, come on. Shane Carden throws for over 300 yards, only 7 incompletions out of 37 passes. This offense is rolling. They need to because they are still 1 game behind Marshall.
The Golden Eagles visiting the ECU Pirates, scoreless in the first, but not for long. Shane Carden lobs this one to the back of the end zone. Justin Hardy is there for the one-handed grab. He gives ECU the first score of the game. Pirates now leading 14-0 in the second. 3rd and 17, keeping it on the ground. Carden, the handoff to Vintavious Cooper, takes off for a 21-yard touchdown run. 31-0 now in the third. First and goal. Carden to Bryce Williams in the end zone for 6. Carden would finish with 308 yards, 3 TDs, and 1 rushing TD. In the third, Carden hands off to Chris Hairston, getting the 4-yard pickup and the touchdown. Pirates get a big win, 55-14 over Southern Miss. Now let's take a look at the rest of the scores from around the conference. Well, Ron, we mentioned Justin Hardy's performance this year. He earns this week's Offensive Player of the Week. Let's take a look at the rest of the week's top performers.
Conference USA announces its Players of the Week for October 21st. East Carolina junior Justin Hardy is the first wide receiver to be named Offensive Player of the Week this season. Hardy caught 10 passes for 126 yards and a touchdown. He also added 105 yards in punt returns in the win over Southern Miss. The defensive award went to North Texas sophomore Zach Whitfield. The cornerback had 2 interceptions, including one that he returned for a touchdown in the Mean Green's win at Louisiana Tech. The Special Teams Player of the Week is Rice kicker Chris Boswell for the 2nd time this season. The senior booted his 13th career field goal of 50 yards or longer in a win at New Mexico State. For the Conference USA Digital Network, I'm Erica Hirschfield.
You know, Stacey, as usual, we always have outstanding plays in Conference USA football, so let's take a look back at our high five.
Has Casey all by his lonesome wide to the right, looking that side, and Casey didn't see it. Miscommunication, coming back the other way to the end zone. Touchdown, Mean Green and Zach Whitfield.
By North Texas of pressuring It was going to be a timing throw. The ball came out kind of wobbly. Receiver ran exactly the opposite of what his quarterback Higgins was expecting.
The backup guys in.
Guy Will Simmons, who made his 32nd straight start today at right guard. Free play coming here, putting it up to Cam Worthy. And great concentration. Cam Worthy comes down with it.
Yeah, got the right foot down, squeezed it to his body, ball didn't move. That's a catch.
Really bent on scoring here in the red zone.
Third goal for the one. The fade to the end zone is a flag down. A one-handed grab is made. What a great catch by Justin Hardy.
Thompson scrambling left. Throwing downfield. He's got Chancellor who goes up and gets it. At the 20. Foot race. Inside the 10. He's going in for the touchdown. And the passer got it done. He saw number 3 and he says, I'm throwing it up, go get it.
And Villamez launched him out of bounds. That was the penalty, but they're not going to catch Braylon Chamberlain.
Well, Ron, it's another installment of our CUSA game day, and the Herd faithful, always out in numbers, to wear their Kelly green. Well, still ahead after the break, we'll take a look at this weekend's key matchups. Welcome back to the Conference USA Showcase. Now we turn our attention to the upcoming weekend. Ron breaking down Week 9, and we'll start with our Thursday night matchup. Marshall travels to face Middle Tennessee.
Well, when you think of defense, you think of black. You know, the Pittsburgh Steelers and their black and gold colors. It's going to be a blackout night for the fans at Middle Tennessee because it's going to be a defensive night. Marshall leads Conference USA in defense. They're 10th in the FBS in total defense. But let's not forget about Middle Tennessee State. They already have 18 sacks this year. They're 3rd in the FBS in turnovers forced, and the stat that gets me, they are giving up 24 fewer points than they did last year. Can they contain Raheem Cato? That's going to be a huge key, but this is going to be a defensive struggle.
Well, Ron, let's turn our attention down to Tulane. They've really emerged as one of the top contenders this year. They faced Tulsa, but in the years past, Tulsa has definitely had their number.
I tell you, this is a game that's important for both teams for a number of reasons. First, let's talk about Tulsa. They have 8 straight wins over Tulane. They're led, obviously, by Trey Watts, who leads the conference in rushing and all-purpose yards. They've got to get their offense going. They got to get on some kind of roll because they want to remain bowl eligible. But then you look at Tulane. C.J. Johnson has done an outstanding job. They're 1 win away from getting to a bowl. This is the best year they've had since back in the 90s. This is an incredible season, but it's an important game for both. Tulane's got to prove they can play against the best in Conference USA. Tulsa has to get a win to remain bowl eligible.
Well, Rice will face UTEP this week, and now it kind of seems like UTEP has yet to really find their rhythm. Now, Rice, they're a different team when they have Charles Ross.
Oh, Charles Ross is the key, obviously, for them. But you go back to last year and how Rice ended up the season. They are continuing into this season. Think of all the yards they hung on Texas A&M. Everybody thought you're not going to even get any points on them, and they've done that. Charles Ross has been outstanding. 167 yards against New Mexico State this past week. 3 100-yard rushing games in the last 5 games. This Rice offense is very powerful. They're going to continue to roll, I think, this week.
Well, definitely a lot of games on tap for this weekend. Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule. Well, Ron, we turn our attention back to Huntington, West Virginia, and the Marshall football team, who have adopted the Baskets of Hope program. Every Friday that they have a home or bye week, they deliver gifts and smiles to local kids at the hospital. Marshall wide receivers coach Mike Furry, an 8-year NFL veteran, and his wife Corin brought the Baskets of Hope program to Huntington, West Virginia immediately after arriving this season.
For every home game or every bye week, we come in and we give kids who are in here for every reason, and they might not ever get out of here. And we want to be able to come in and just put a smile on these kids' face. And you know, when your kids wear jerseys and come in here, that means a lot more normally than a basket. But the basket gives us an opportunity to come in the door. They've been receptive. The kids have been great, and we've been asked to keep coming back. And I'm hoping that's going to continue for a long time.
The program is voluntary for herd players, but wide receiver Tommy Schuler and center Chris Jaspers have made it a priority in their weekly routine.
The lady told us, she said even the nurses and the parents and all the kids are really excited to see us, and they start asking on Monday when they're coming next. And I just like to come brighten up kids' day. I love it when I go out to a game and I see a bunch of people out there, and these kids are down right now, and we're trying to get them up and just make them happy and let them know that we care about them.
Oh, it's always great to come in here and talk to the kids. I'm always excited to come here. I come in every time we come, every Friday, and I come and interact with the kids. It's just fun. I know the community love it, the team love it. Like I tell my team every week, it's good to get different people to come out here and just show the love, because the community need it, and they watch us play, so we should give back to them.
Despite the obvious impact the visits have on the children and families, Coach Furry emphasizes the positive impact it has on herd players.
It always ends up becoming eternal. I mean, it's a situation where you come in and kids fall in love with it, and this gives you an unbelievable opportunity. As much as these guys come in here to give back to kids who are in here, when they walk out of here, they almost get as big of a reward, knowing that, hold on, I'm fortunate, but I'm also very fortunate to be able to give back and help out. But I'm also fortunate of what my life is really like, and the game kind of becomes a little bit smaller to them, and the outlook on life becomes bigger.
Still ahead on the CUSA Showcase, Jeremiah Ingram is in studio to talk Conference USA Soccer. Welcome back to the Conference USA Showcase. I'm Stacey Erfley, and we are now joined by Jeremiah Ingram, our CUSA soccer expert. So let's jump right in. Conference USA Soccer is still rolling when it comes to the 2013 season. Let's kind of go ahead and look back. Some interesting matches this weekend, Charlotte and Kentucky.
Yeah, and really this is an excellent win for Charlotte for a couple of reasons. First, things finally went their way. I mean, they've been out shooting people, dominating on the field, and then they're not putting goals in the back of the net. Well, they finally got one. It's an own goal, but it's great because what it does is it gets them back to 500 overall, which is important, gives them 3 points in the conference, also important. But when you take a look at what Charlotte's done, they're 5-5-3 for the season. But really, this is a team that should be 9-1-3, if not 10-0-3. I mean, they've dominated in matches they've lost. And the other match against Memphis, they gave up 2 goals late. So Charlotte, when you look at them, 16th toughest schedule in the country. They're 30th in the RPI. It's a really solid squad, and the schedule kind of lines up for them a little bit here, Stacey, so that they can be better than 500, eligible for the NCAA tournament, leading into the conference tournament, which they're hosting.
Now let's talk about some of the upcoming matches. It looks like New Mexico has a tough slate this week. 2 of their opponents are going to be give them a hard time.
Well, Saturday they play South Carolina. South Carolina comes in 2-1-2 in the league. New Mexico obviously at the top of the table, so that's a big one for seeding in the conference tournament. South Carolina always organized, always tough to score on. So is New Mexico. New Mexico probably a little bit more firepower, but that one will be an interesting one. And then a big one, Next Wednesday, UAB at New Mexico. UAB obviously been in the top 10, close to the top 10 the last few weeks, and New Mexico sitting at the top of the table. That'll be a big tilt, and that could determine the #1 seed in the conference tournament.
Now remember, for all of our updated calendars, you can go to conferenceusa.com for a full list. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this week's Players of the Week. Conference USA announces men's soccer Players of the Week. UAB's Moses Adeniran is the offensive winner, and ODU goalkeeper Sean Stowe earns the defensive title. Adeniran tallied the game-winning goal in UAB's 2-1 victory against Tulsa on Saturday. It marked his first goal of the season. In the 83rd minute, UAB was able to break through the Tulsa defense, proving to be the game winner. Adeniran now has 3 points on the year. This is his first Player of the Week honor. Stowe came up with a career-high tying 7 saves in ODU's 1-0 win at FAU, which pushed the Monarchs to 4-1 in Conference USA play. With ODU playing down a man for the final 23-plus minutes of the match, Stowe steadied the defense and preserved the shutout. This is Stowe's second Player of the Week title this season. Well, Jeremiah, moving our attention to the women's soccer field. Colorado College has their 9-match win streak snapped, but they do tie with UTSA. They remain at the top of the standings. So let's talk about their week and kind of the rest of the week in Women's Conference USA soccer.
Well, everybody has 3 matches left, but Colorado College has a chance to kind of extend that unbeaten streak out. It's still at 10 matches. It was their first draw of the year. They head to UTEP after they host Louisiana Tech this week. So it's an opportunity for them to really keep that distance and kind of secure one of those top spots in the conference tournament.
Well, as for a full list of the Conference USA women's soccer schedule, visit conferenceusa.com. Now we'll take a look at this week's Players of the Week. Conference USA announces women's soccer Players of the Week. North Texas forward Vanessa Ibuwicki is the offensive winner, and UTSA goalkeeper Baba Makala earns defensive honors. Ibuwicki scored a goal and notched 2 assists in helping North Texas secure a key win at Tulsa 4-1. The 2 teams enter the night deadlocked at second place in the CUSA West Division, but North Texas grabbed the upper hand with 4 goals against one of the league's toughest defensive teams. Ibuwicki now has 5 goals and 5 assists for North Texas in 2013. This is her first career CUSA Player of the Week, but she is the 4th member of the Mean Green to earn the weekly honor. Makala helped guide the Roadrunners to a 1-0-1 mark over the weekend with a pair of shutouts, her 4th and 5th of the season. She recorded 9 saves and 200 minutes of action against Southern Miss and league-leading Colorado College. Makala faced 6 shots and made a pair of saves in a 3-0 win over the Golden Eagles before seeing 21 shots and picking up 7 saves in a 0-0 tie against Colorado College, snapping the Tigers' 9-game winning streak. Well, Jeremiah, an exciting weekend on the volleyball court. UTSA gets a 5-set win over Rice to secure the #2 spot in standings. Tulsa still remains on the top of the standings in Conference USA volleyball. UTSA freshman Tessa Dannert earns our Defensive Player of the Week. Let's take a look at the rest of our top performers. Conference USA announces volleyball Players of the Week. UTEP's Zitlali Herrera is the offensive winner. UTSA freshman Tessa Dannert earns the defensive title, and Marshall's Sammy Bain takes the Setter of the Week. Herrera led the Miners to a straight-set sweep over Rice on Sunday. The senior hammered out a match-high 12 kills with only 1 error, giving her a season-high hitting percentage of .611. Herrera also delivered 8 digs, 2 service aces, 2 block assists, and 1 assist. The veteran scored 15 points for the Miners, the most points scored in the match. Dannert posted 11 blocks in the Roadrunners' victories over Rice and North Texas to keep UTSA at #2 in the team standings. The freshman accounted for 9 of UTSA's 18 team blocks in Friday's 5-set victory over Rice. Dannert capped off the weekend with 8 kills and was credited with a pair of block assists in the sweep over North Texas. This is her first career Defensive Player of the Week. Bain led Marshall to a pair of straight-set victories last weekend. She dished out 81 assists over the 2 matches. The junior averaged 13.5 assists per set and led the team to a .249 hitting percentage for the week. Bain also tallied 18 digs and 1 kill, including 10 digs in Sunday's win at UAB. This is her 4th career Setter of the Week and 2nd of the season. Now here's a look at some of the key volleyball matchups for the upcoming weekend. You can find a full list at conferenceusa.com. Still to come after the break, Ron returns to answer your tweets. Welcome back to the Conference USA Showcase. Well, Ron, let's talk about some tweets here. We know you haven't exactly got on the tweeting, but you can read them, which is a good thing. And our tweet of the week is asking if Tulane can sustain their dominance right now in the West.
Well, I tell you what, they're making a believer out of me, obviously, just because of everything they've done this season. But when I look at the schedule, a couple of things stand out. Number one, they still have 3 road games to play. That's going to get tougher as the season goes on. And can they stay away from injuries during that time? That's a key. But it might just come down to the final game of the season. They have to play at Rice. It would be an incredible season for C.J. Johnson and Tulane, but I think it's a long way away before we decide that.
Well, speaking of social media, check out this little gem that we found thanks to Louisiana Tech and Skip Holtz.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Anybody?
Hey, champ, guess what day it is? Come on, I know you can hear me. Hunter, 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 Hunter! Guess what day it is? Ha ha! Kenneth, guess what day it is?
It's game day.
Coach Jackson, how happy are Bulldog fans at Joe A. Stadium?
Game day!
Happier than Skip Holtz on game day.
Incredible. Is that not one of the best things that you've ever seen?
I tell you what, if you ever get a chance to meet Coach Holtz, you've got to. That is perfect. His voice was perfect. He's got a great sense of humor. I tell you, he's one of my favorite guys. Kind of takes after his dad a little bit.
They played that on the Jumbotron at the Louisiana Tech game this weekend, and the entire stands went nuts. It was fantastic.
That's
Had
great.
to share it. Had to share it.
Absolutely.
All right, well, let's move on. Ron's final thoughts. Let's hear what you have to say about this week.
Well, I had a chance to do a game of Pitt against Old Dominion. Now, the basketball team of ODU, they're going to be part of men's and women's, part of Conference USA this year, but football will join next year. Let me tell you something, my friends, about ODU football. This is a good football team. Bobby Wilder has not built a team. He is building a program. He's doing it the right way. He's got a quarterback in Taylor Heineke. Obviously won the Walter Payton Award last year, which is the FCS equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. He is the real deal, and he's only a junior. We'll get to see him next year. I was so impressed with Bobby Wilder and ODU this past weekend. Had a chance to beat Pitt, came up a little bit short, but that's a good coach and a great program.
No doubt, a great addition to Conference USA. Well, for everything Conference USA, you can check us out on conferenceusa.com for all your updates, videos, stats. Also, you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, pretty much anything else that's out there. For Ron Thulin, I'm Stacey Erfley. We'll see you next time.